Hey guys, welcome back to our kitchen. I am so excited to share this recipe with you. It is a 4-ingredient bread. It comes together in an hour and a half. And best of all, it's clean. You know every ingredient that's going into your and your family's bodies. So let's get started. First, you're gonna need 3 cups of flour. You can use all-purpose flour or bread flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1.5 cups of warm water, and a package, or it's like 2.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast. So the water, you want it to be hot enough to activate your yeast, but not so hot that it kills your yeast. So I'm just gonna pour my yeast into my warm water, give it a little stir, just kind of mix it up a little. And then I'm gonna set this aside for 5 minutes so that it can activate. While that's activating, I'm gonna pour my salt into my flour, and then using your hands or a wooden spoon or a whisk, just mix up the salt into the flour so that it gets nice and combined. And then at the end of 5 minutes, when this has activated and it's a little frothy and ready to go, we're gonna create a well in the middle of our flour, pour all of the water and yeast in, mix it together, and then let it rise for an hour, bake it, and then you have fresh bread. It's literally the best, easiest recipe in the whole world. All right, it's been 5 minutes, so I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer while I combine my water and my flour, just so you can see how I do it. So no rings on, because this is gonna get a little messy, but I just create like a little well in the middle, and then I'm gonna pour all of the water and yeast into the center. I like to use a wooden spoon initially, just to kind of start getting everything combined together. And then I will jump in with my hands, but you can just jump in with your hands right away. You can use a spoon the entire time, it's up to you. The whole point is not even just to knead this for like 15 minutes, it's just to combine the flour and the water all together. All right, so that's about as good as the spoon can do. So now I'm just gonna kind of take some of this off. And then I just kind of knead it right here in the bowl a little bit, just getting everything kind of combined. It's gonna be sticky, that's totally fine. You're gonna have stuff on your fingers that you can kind of scrape off a little bit, and there's gonna be pieces on the side of the bowl. The point is not to get every single little piece into your dough ball. It's just to combine as much of the flour and the water as possible until you get this nice sticky dough ball. And as you can see, there's not really rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of folding it in half and then pushing it with the heel of my hand, folding it in half the other way. I'm not a professional kneader, guys. I'm not a professional baker. The whole point of this recipe is not perfection. It's just ease and a nice homemade bread at the end of the day. So this is our dough ball. It's not perfect. It's not completely smooth. It doesn't matter. This is exactly what we want. I'm going to transfer this into another bowl that has just a little bit of olive oil on the bottom so it doesn't stick. I'm going to cover it with a little towel, and then I'm going to throw this into the oven. The oven is not on, it's just a safe place for this to rise for 1 hour. Okay, if you guys can even hear me, that would be a miracle, because there's so much loud noise and playing happening in the background. Loud noises! But I preheated my oven to 425 with my Dutch oven in the oven. So now we're gonna transfer our dough into the Dutch oven, bake it for 25 minutes. So let me grab my Dutch oven. Okay, so I have a piece of parchment paper, and I am just gonna turn my dough right on to the parchment paper. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drop it straight in there like that. Put the lid back on. I'm gonna bake it at 425 for 25 minutes with the lid on, and then 10 minutes with the lid off, so that the top gets nice and crusty and golden brown. Okay, so my bread is done. I baked it for 25 minutes with the lid and then 10 minutes without the lid, and this is what it looks like. How beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. It smells amazing too. All right, I let this cool for about 15 minutes. Now let's cut a piece. I wish I could send smells through the camera, because this smells so good. All right, let's give it a taste. I'm gonna tear this in half. It's so good. 4 ingredients. It's super spongy, chewy, exactly how you want bread to be. So that's it. 4 ingredient bread. Every loaf will come out a little different, but you have this beautiful little rustic bread loaf that you made from scratch by yourself. Like I said, it's foolproof. Even if the shape is funky or it looks weird or it's fluffier or flatter, the taste will be there, and it's absolutely delicious. It makes great garlic bread, French toast, or if you're like us, we'll just eat this whole loaf in the next hour or so. And yeah, give it a shot. Let me know what you think.